Good evening, everyone. Friday night, a bit of an unusual time for us to have Super League action, but such is the holiday period. We're going to squeeze it in whenever we can. Hopefully, at least some of the managers who are in action tonight are able to join. I know that Steve is still on holiday, so that's Vikings just here with instructions. I know that Alf has asked to go first. He's doing something else at 9 o'clock, and we'll see. We'll see who else turns up. I can see Smuts already. Good evening. Uh, Hope you are well. Of course, up against Fulchester this evening, but we'll give it a minute or two and just see if anyone else turns up and has the ability to join. Here is Alf. Indeed, good to see you, Alf. Happy to have you here. As mentioned, it is kind of warm, so so we're not going to be here for a long time. We're here for a good time, not for a long time this evening. So hopefully we'll be able to get cracking shortly. Uh, and Mr. Campbell is here, not playing, but here for the entertainment. Even offering co-coms. We'll take you up on that later on in the season, Ian. For this short one, it's a nice gesture, but probably not needed. Although it will be fun to get some co-coms going sooner rather than later. Um, as Alf is here and he has requested to go first, I'm not sure if Neil will be joining, but we'll put Exiles against Sloths on first. No, it'll be a quiet night for the Haggis indeed. So what we'll do is that uh, we will go to Exiles first. Have a look at them. The good opener for them. Christian Vieri on top form. Zero Roberto doing well. 3-0 winners against Los Santos. A good start for Neil and his boys. Not a lot of things going on in the transfer market for him. Lots more for Los Santos, but we'll get to that back to that later on. Of course, when they play this evening. Evening Tato as well. Good to see you. So yeah, unchanged for Exiles after that opening win, unsurprisingly so. Meanwhile, Alpha's made numerous changes, really testing out his players, seeing who's going to deliver for him this season. Very hopeful with this new tactic. And yeah, we see some changes in the not in the back line. Stammer Valgar are not the same, but then we have got Placenta moving from central midfield out to a wing back role. Mycon coming in. Very pleased to see this. Severely underrated and not really spoken about in sort of CM terms, but I'm sure you'll be mightily impressed with his performances this season for the Sloths. Toretto's moved into central midfield, where apparently he can perform as well. I've not seen it before, but we will have a look this evening. Gerard, who had a great first game, and Seedorf, of course, in the centre. Then they've got Kessman and Elber up front. Elber, another option that they've got in terms of their goal scoring options there. Darren Fletcher is on the bench. He's going to need a squad number, I guess, and Alan Smith is there as well. So that's Sloth's team for this evening. A good result for them, of course. First time out beating East Coast 3-1. Good goalkeeping performance. Tonetto with a 9 there as well. Good defensive display from Falcao. And yeah, Alf will be hoping for more of the same this evening. As mentioned quickly in the chat, if you haven't seen it already, please halftime and 60-minute instructions all in one message. I will take the first message as your complete instructions. So if there's anything else, then it's just going to be how it is. As mentioned, the temperature is not really on my side this evening, so we'll get through this relatively quickly. Darren Fletcher gets number 12. Good luck to both teams as we kick off Exiles against Sloths in their lovely yellow and green away colours. See if Christian Vieri can continue his goal scoring form or if Sloths can continue their overall good form. Two teams with 3 points on the board already. Good position to be in, of course. Elba must score, but he somehow didn't. It seems as if Sloths have been pretty adventurous so far in the first 22 minutes. Maicon there getting involved. Cudicini with a good save. I think Oliver Cour just picked up a yellow card there. Schmutz getting involved. There's a lot of action at both ends of the pitch here. But it's Christian Vieri off to a amazing start. That's his third in just under 1.5 games. But there's Kessman with the equaliser for Sloths firing straight back at Exiles. Excellent first half this for everyone involved, especially the neutrals. Alf says he'll take a draw here. Well, it's a 5-3 for Exiles, 4-4 for Sloths. Very effective finishing. We'll have a look at the Exile stats first. Roberto's on an 8. He had a great first game as well. Christian Vieri, two key players for them this season, of course. Tomasi, who had such a high average rating last season, is on a yellow. Mike Duff is there as well. Cordoba's on a 6. And Charlie Chaos is on a 6 as well. Nothing else really of note. Let's have a look at sloths. Could surprise folk this season, says Campbell to Alf about his sloth side. Placenta and Maicon doing exceptionally well out on the wings, a little bit less effective in the center of the park with all of the central midfielders not exactly covering themselves in glory. Elber as well, not doing particularly well. Tonetto, not overly convinced about his move into midfield. Fletcher's on the bench if Alf wants to do anything at halftime. No fitness concerns, of course, to consider, but we will see if Alf wants to do anything or if he's happy to roll until 60. Neil as well, of course, if you are here, you're free to chip in with potential changes. Evening, Alex. Good to see you. Run till 60, says Alf, and that's exactly what we're going to do then. First 15 of the second half coming up. Roberto Vieri, Cassano, Roberto. Roberto so impressive in the first game for Exiles. He's doing relatively well this evening. I think pick of the bunch in terms of average rating so far for Exiles. Raul comes forward. There's Cordoba. Cordoba getting involved attacking wise. Roberto as well. His name is popping up frequently. There he is again, just before the hour mark. Continues with his run. Cudicini, a surprise selection perhaps from Sloths. Cudicini as a apparent first choice goalkeeper, presumably based on extensive testing. Anyway, we've reached 60 minutes. Exiles had slightly the better of the first 15 minutes, I would say, of the second half. Christian Vieri gone from a 7 to a 9 almost immediately. Roberto's on a 9 as well. Good performance from them. Assist was not from anyone though, so I'm not entirely sure where Roberto gets this from, but good performance by him nonetheless. Over in the Sloths camp, average ratings aren't that great. Tonetto struggling there in central midfield. Elba not doing particularly well either. Yapstam and Valgarin both on sixes, but they are probably likely to stay off. But will we see some changes here from Sloths? I'll be surprised if we don't see Darren Fletcher with Tonetto on a six. That seems like an obvious substitution there to give him a bit of a rest. We can have a look at the fitness as well. Condition-wise, Placenta's down on 82. He could be replaced by Tonetto, and then Fletcher could take Tonetto's role in central midfield as well, of course. There's Alan Smith to consider as well for Elba. If Alf is not happy with the performance of Elba, he's on a six. Difficult opponents, of course, with Nesta and the boys in the Exiles defense. But we'll see what Alf comes up with here at halftime. It's 1-1 between Exiles and Sloths. Both managers obviously off to a good start, 3 points each, and 3 goals each, I believe it was as well. Exiles, of course, not conceding against Los Santos, while Sloths conceded a goal from Constantino. Evening, Scott. Testing before the season starts. I think Alf is in a state of continuous improvement, Ian. Always testing, always trying things out, always tinkering. Mystery men and home saves all over the place. But we'll see if there are any changes to be made here at halftime by Alf, or if he's happy enough to entrust his first 11 to see it through until full time. And maybe that will be the outcome. We'll see. As mentioned, condition, there's nothing to worry about. Placenta 82, Gerard on 83, but that should be okay. Rating wise are the kind of only kind of concerns. Fletcher for Tonetto and Smith for Elba. So we shall do that. As mentioned, Tonetto was an obvious one there, and Smith coming in for Elba. Get some time on the pitch here. Those two boys for the last hour. Good luck as well to both managers. Well, good luck as usual to both managers for the last 19 minutes we've got now. Let's see if we can get a goal in this one, just to keep it exciting, keep someone on 6 points. That would be excellent for them anyway. Just put it down to fast here for the last 5 minutes. I think we can manage that. That's Maicon coming forward as well. Goal kick to Exiles though. But then Roberto runs in an offside position. You're more than welcome, Tato. There's no problem at all. I wish I had aircon, but there you go. Meanwhile, just as my energy levels drop, so does the action on the pitch, and it finishes 1-1 between Exiles and Sloths. Both managers presumably relatively happy to take the point here, and yeah, onwards and upwards for the Sloths. I mean, they play Exiles, they play East Coast. They've got 4 points on the board. One of the games was away from home. It's going to be a decent start from the Sloth side. And we'll have a quick look at the stats, of course. Yeah, Maicon, as mentioned, I was hoping he would do well. He got the assist and got an 8. Kessman on an 8 as well with a goal, so he'll probably make another appearance. Sevens for Fletcher and Alan Smith as they came on. Meanwhile, Sir Roberto picks up man of the match on his 9. Good performance from him. Good trade there for Exiles, bringing him in. And the goal for Vieri, top scorer in the league on 3 now. Right, back with the action. Let's see what else we've got this evening. Fulchester Foss Road, Stanley Badgers and Vikings against Los Santos. I've only seen one of the managers from the respective teams. And I have got instructions from Vikings, and Scott is here, so we'll go with Vikings against Los Santos next. Tricky away game for Los Santos now. Obviously, manager slightly disappointed with the result of the first game. Vikings are unchanged apart from Patrick Powell coming in. They had a 1-1 draw in the opener away to Haggis against the 10 men. Hersey picked up man of the match there. So that was the first game of the season for Vikings. Still a couple of unhappy faces, waiting for the manager to to deliver some results. They could obviously contribute to that themselves, but not a bad start for the Vikings. We'll see if they can get one better here against Los Santos. Tricky opponents, of course. Rio Ferdinand's going to be selected as captain. It seems reasonable. Los Santos are unchanged. Yeah, not much to say about that. I mean, it, they looked competent. They looked solid enough. It looked like they had a good start to the game, but then suddenly it kind of all changed with that Roberto goal, and then there was just no way back into it for Los Santos, unfortunately. Manager goes unchanged though. We'll wait and see what happens with the front three. I think that's the big question, or the big riddle for Scott to solve this season. What does he do with them to get the most out of his attacking talent? Top scorer Jacques, new signing Tsigalko, and of course everyone sort of fan favorite Nikiforenko. But let's see what Vikings and Los Santos will bring us this evening in terms of entertainment. We kick this one off and have a look and see if Tsigalko can get in there. So many goals from debut goals in the opening round. We'll see if any of the guys who still haven't opened their account for their new clubs, such as Tsigalko, will make an appearance this evening. Ooh, that's unlikely to be what Scott would have hoped for there. I'm not entirely sure what he did, Kalashak, to deserve that, but I guess centralizing Nikiforenko, keeping the arrow, but we'll see what Scott says. If he wants to change anything, could also go on at the back, of course, and bring someone else. Like a half of Ferguson move to AMC. We shall do that. I presume with the arrow. And Vikings up against 10 men for the second week running. Bit of luck for them, surely. All above board and all fair play. Going for it here, Los Santos. They're not sort of not hanging about. They got to get something out of Tsigalko though. He's got to get his shooting boots on, especially now with Shaq's going off. I mean, goals got to come from somewhere, and they give away tons of chances for Los Santos here, or at least a couple. Looked as tons, well, kind of tons considering his first half 7-4 against the Vikings, 2-2. Again, Los Santos with a good performance. I just hope for them that it's not with a similar outcome to last week, where the opponents get straight back into it. Scott says roll for Vikings. There are only instructions if losing, so they will stick. And we will roll till 60. See who gets the better of the beginning of the second half. There's Volodenkov coming forward. Andre with a good save for Los Santos picks up the ball, but there's Nedved. Vikings hoping for a lot of contributions from Nedved this season. Of course, they were struggling to create, struggling to score. It's like Howard picking up a yellow card. It seemed like quite a, I don't know if it was a violent, but it looked harsh, whatever it was he was doing. So a yellow, maybe a bit generous, keeping Los Santos on a 10 men here. Tsigalko getting tackled. Tsigalko's name popping up again and again. Vikings are still, as mentioned, not losing, so no instructions from the manager as a result of that. Los Santos haven't had a shot here in the beginning of the second half. Good game for Salihamidzic, for Dede, for Taribo West. Patasopoulos on a 6, so is Henshaw. Attacking players, Nikiforenko, Tsigalko, 3 shots, 2 on target. He would have obviously had a better rating if he'd scored. Morientes on the bench. Is that the time for him instead of Nikiforenko, for example? It could be. Wing back to wingers with arrows, added arrows to AMC. Scott's definitely going for it here. Wing backs to wingers with arrows and arrows on the DMCs. Okay, but no substitutions, it would seem. Sticking with what he's got on the pitch is Scott, but yeah, that's it's still brave. Still brave with all the arrows. We'll see if it pays off for them. They got to get at least a point out of this one, preferably 3, I presume. But the Vikings as well, of course, after only getting a first in their opener, would hopefully, well, all to be hoping for 3 points. Tsigalko involved as well, just not cynical enough, Los Santos, and will that come back to haunt them? Vikings not renowned for scoring a ton of goals, but it could obviously happen. Tsigalko with a big miss there again. Now it's great football by Vikings somehow, and there's Nedved on mark, spectacular effort, but he sends it wide. A goal kick for Los Santos. 4 minutes of added time coming up now. Will it sort of fizzle out like the Los Santos Exiles game? It will. Los Santos hanging on is probably a little bit harsh. I mean, they get a point and a clean sheet. They're down to 10 men. Kalashak's got sent off. That's something for the manager to think about, obviously. But yeah, but me. I would agree, Scott. A shame. With 11 men, could have probably been a little bit different. Let's see what Kalashak's got sent off for, actually. I shoved him. Not the worst. Not the worst. Anyway, Tsigalko's on a 5. Handy point, but Tsigalko on a 5. After getting a 7, should he do better? I mean, you'd think so. You'd think so. That's a thing for Scott to fix, obviously. Meanwhile, Vikings, a clean sheet. I mean, they're going to be happy with that. Juliaka getting a 9, Bordenko of an 8. Where are the goals? That's the problem. That's the question that the Vikings needs to answer. Where are the goals? Will they come? We will see. And we have a choice of Stanley against the Badgers, of Foss Road against the against Fulchester. I think we will go Foss Road because then I can remember to put the number on correctly, so we don't end up with the 24. Changes, yes, there are some. Well, I've actually just changed to the other game. Sorry, Tato. It'll only be a few minutes. Don't worry. Beckham is dropped to the bench. Totti comes in. Back is in for the injured Ronaldinho. Lawson is injured. Hoffland is back in. Arkel is there. Oya joins on the bench. DMC line Gerard comes back in as well. So a few changes for Foss Road after they beat Northern Burn in the opener, of course. But yeah, we'll see what they can do this evening. Van Nistelrooy, of course, another one of those debut goal scorers. So look good for Foss Road first round. We'll give Andre Oyer. Can you do the other game, please? Yes, I can do the other game. Right, so you're up anyway. Don't worry about it. Del Vecchio's out. Juliano's dropped. Okoronkwo. Those are the changes for uh, those are the changes for the Badgers. They obviously had a bit of a nightmare out the first game out against Dudley Hill Brosig with a 10 and 2 goals, and Kluivert and David Collins and all that good stuff. They had a brilliant game. So Badgers hoping for something a little bit better. They were up against the Shrimp, the Stanley Shrimp. Ronaldo replaces Debsky. That's the only change for them. Debsky away on international duty, but had probably made his debut anyway, considering that Debsky did kind of poorly, despite looking decent. But yeah, that's how it is. You don't always know with the numbers. A decent hard-fought draw for Stanley against Sancti in the opener. But we will not dwell on that any further. It's Stanley against the Badgers. Can Badgers do a little bit better than a 5-0 defeat? The manager will hope so. Mike will hope that he can replicate what Steve did last time out. and sent Badgers packing with a heavy scoreline in favour of the home side, with Ronaldo firing in the goals here. But it's been fairly even so far. First 10, 12 minutes, a couple of chances for both sides, it would appear. A yellow card, someone picked up there. I'm not entirely sure who it was. There's Addo, he picked up a yellow for sure. Georgic comes forward, scorer of important goals for Stanley, as I keep reminding myself. Toldo still in goal for Badgers. I believe that's correct. Getting another chance. Scholes picked up a yellow, I believe it was. Looks like it's going to be a 0-0. Oh, no. Thierry Henry, King Titi. I will say it, as Steve is not here. Opens the scoring for Badgers. And they have been the better side in the first half. Stanley with 2 and 2, Badgers with 6 and 4. And in terms of attributes and average ratings, rather, sorry, here, it's Davids on a yellow, Addo on a yellow, Paul Scholes on a yellow, and a 6. Not looking great, but Thierry Henry with a goal. Obviously scored sort of fairly okay for Badgers last time out, so not too bad. Assist for Ryan Giggs as well. We've seen that one before, so yeah, business as usual for Badgers, or business as they'd like it to be. It's maybe a more accurate term. Stanley, meanwhile, yeah, it's just not really worked out super well for them in this game so far. Badgers with the width, just getting a little bit better off them. They obviously had more luck in the opener against Sancte with keeping the opponents at bay, but not to be so far this evening. Thierry Henry with the opener. Kick up the first 60. I've not seen Mike about, so we'll go straight for the second half. There's the Gat. Love yellow cards. Shows that they care. Indeed. Indeed. A Gat unchallenged. Addo with a drive. Forces goals. Scholes does something. Esteban with a good save. Stanley just struggling to create. Good save by the keeper though, but I mean, it's nice to have good saves by the keeper, but you also want some action up the other end of the pitch. There comes Del Piero and Ronaldo. Ronaldo can't miss, and just as I said that, Ronaldo is the scorer, not on his debut, but on his first game of the season. Let's have a look. It's 3 and 3 for Stanley, 9 and 5 for Badgers. Badgers still playing well. Everyone apart from Paul Scholes actually playing a pretty decent game for the Badgers, but they yeah, it's just not gone that well. Paul Scholes, will we see Mohamed Kallon for Paul Scholes? That would be a nice substitution. I'd, I'd support that, but we'll see what the manager does. As is role, playing well. Indeed, playing well. Paul Scholes, just not. Del Piero with the assist and Ronaldo with the goal for Stanley, who are doing a pretty solid job. Esteban in goal on a 9 here, replacing Marcos, who replaced Westerveld after Westerveld's been dropped. It's been going okay for Stanley in terms of conceding goals, I would say. Anyway, last half hour coming up. Stanley against Badgers. Who will win this one? It's it's Ronaldo. It's Ronaldo with his second of the game. Stanley takes the lead. Badgers are in despair, I guess. Um, what will they do? Will they find a way back into this? They will not. They absolutely will not. Even in Steve. Um, yeah, tough one. Badgers slightly the better side here, I would have said. But the champ gods are not in your favor at the moment. Um, Paul Scholes didn't do well. Ashley Lyons did well. Young Henri did well. In fact, everyone did well. But former reigning champions, the Boothtown Badgers, have not having a great start to the season here. Meanwhile, Stanley, great opener for them, a point away from home and a win now. That's 4 points. That's not bad at all. With a bit of an unfancied side, you'd have to be honest to say that they'd probably not be someone's pick for for uh, for a 4 point after 2 games kind of side. But they've done well here. So credit to Mike and credit to the Shrimp. But yeah, super performance from the Badgers players. Just a shame they couldn't close it out. But there we go. The last game of the evening then is Fulchester against Foss Road. And as I was saying, where is Foss Road? Here they are. I was about to give someone a score number. So let's do that. Let's give Mr. Oyo number 46 just to make sure that we're not doing anything wrong. David Beckham and Ronaldinho are specified as set piece takers, but are not in the first 11. Tough. They'll just have to work it out themselves. couple of changes for Fulchester. The Nielsen experiment on the right back is over, and Lame joins, and Ayala joins in central defence as well. Not a bad start to the season for Fulchester. Bear with me. The result was not excellent, but in terms of performance, it definitely wasn't the worst. They created and they scored, and the goalkeeper wasn't terrible, despite conceding 3 goals. I'm not entirely sure how that happened, but it's definitely been worse for Fulchester at times. So we'll see what they can do this evening. It's tough at home to Foss Road, of course, but we'll see if they can do a little bit better. Keep a clean sheet or keep it to one conceded, and maybe score a couple. We will see. We'll soon find out as we kick this one off. Jogata's getting involved down the left-hand side. He is a solid player. Important for Fulchester to get him up and running. More important for them is obviously to find some goals. Robbie Keane scored in the opener. It'll be interesting to see if he can do a job. Season 4 is probably a good time for him. And it is Oli Sadebi who opens his account for Fulchester. Or is it? Has he scored before? I don't know. Anyway, he opens the account this evening. After 15 minutes, Fulchester finds the opening goal of the match. They take a 1-0 lead. Could they hang on to that into half time? They don't look under giant amounts of pressure. In fact, they're still creating pretty good chances themselves. Roy Keane probably doing a sterling job there in midfield, keeping Foss Road at bay. We'll see how it goes if they can hang on. It kind of looks like it, but you never know. Gattuso as well coming forward. Another signing by Fulchester from Dudley, I believe he was at. It's 2-2 for Fulchester, 4-1 for Foss Road. It's not been brilliant for the neutral in terms of entertainment, but not awful either. Foss Road, though, that's kind of not good. Joe Cole on a yellow and a 7. Lee Boyer on a 7 as well. Nick Matullian's on a 7. Everyone else is kind of doing badly. Smart says as is. Meanwhile, Fulchester, it's Pizarro's on a 6, unsurprisingly. Struggle to get anything out of their strikers, Fulchester, or they have done for a while now, but they lead 1-0. I've not seen that about, so we shall kick off the second half for the first 15 and see if anything changes. And Rossini picks up a yellow card, potentially. Yes, indeed he does. That's been key moment so far in the second half. Here comes another one, maybe. Materazzi holds the ball. Pizarro moved too soon, going from a 6 to running offside. Not ideal. Frey with a good catch. He should be able to put in a solid-ish performance for Fulchester. He's definitely not the worst keeper. Just a question of when he's going to let the side down. Robbie Keane with his second of the season, 20 yards out. Foss Road are, I mean, I won't say they're being outplayed, but they're being sort of outscored for sure. Cynical Fulchester side. 3-3, yeah, exactly. 3 shots, 3 on target. 2 of them went in. Bad day for Nick Matulin, bad day for the defenders. Argila and Hoffland both on a 6. Cambiaso's on a 6 as well. So is Totti back. Ambrosini, but everyone's on a 6 apart from Joe Cole, Steven Gerrard, and the keeper. That is not what Foss Road was hoping for after that impressive opener against Northern Burn. We'll bring the Fulchester stats up just very briefly. Michael Lamy, who came in for Danielson with 2 assists, a solid decision by the manager there to bring him back in. It certainly paid off. And Pizarro, unsurprisingly, still on a 6. Probably be pulled for Viduka eventually, but yeah, it's not been the case. As the manager isn't here to make that call, but maybe Pizarro will repay him with a third of the evening. Foss Road. Here's a drawing board. Are any lines going to be drawn on it? Any changes going to be made? We've got Oya, we've got Beckham, and we've got Trezeguet. We're down game changers sitting on the bench, just waiting to come in to do their best to impress the manager and to secure at least a point for Unicorns. Who knows? Or Fulchester could hang on. We will see. We'll wait and see what Mr. Smuts come up with of tactical instructions. Presumably arrows and position movements and various things, but we will see. We will see what happens. Your favorite emoji, a shocked expression. Yeah, and Scholes has just moved clubs, so ideally he would not be moved again, considering that is one of the restrictions that we can't try to keep in place that players can't move twice in the same season. That's also a good one, Alex. I agree. Ambrosini, Trezeguet, him up top left on Van Nistelrooy. Ambrosini, Arauz, Trezeguet on left of Van Nistelrooy. There we go. Let's see if that is enough. 28 minutes to play. Can Foss Road find it? No, they cannot because 20 minutes went by in the blink of an eye and nothing happened. We've got 5 minutes left to play now. Lamy takes a throw in. There's Gattuso. Cambiaso places it up the other end. Van Nistelrooy and Trezeguet try to combine, but nothing comes of it. Pizarro does something. Runs offside, probably. He wasn't scoring, that's for sure. 1 or 2 minutes left here, I think. Jogatas comes forward. There's Lamy running with the ball. Will he get a goal himself? Nope. Back is bringing down Jogatas. Shooting from range, but yeah, smart's lost. Oh yeah, karma comes at you quite quick. 5 shots, one on target. That's not going to be good. 25 free kicks, presumably most of them for not even for offsides, just genuine free kicks. Um, GG's then indeed. Argyl's on a 6, Hoffland was on a 7. Yeah, overall not great for Foss Road this evening to be honest, but brilliant for Fulchester. Excellent performance by Lamy. He gets an 8. Only sort of like poor performance was Pizarro, but that's maybe to be expected. Something wrong with these attributes. They just don't seem to translate into to actual performances. But there we go. Um, and that concludes the evening's entertainment. Exiles and Sloss battle it out, 1-1 draw. They take first and second. Fulchester up to fifth with that win. Stanley up to third with their win. And Vikings 0-0 against Los Santos. Vikings, let's see, Sancte still on 0-0. There's not really much to talk about here. No one's on 6 points. I think the Dudley Hill is now the Dudley Hill and Stackington, the only two sides who've got the option to go unbeaten. So that was quick. Oh, sorry, 100% record, not unbeaten. Obviously, there's plenty of those, but yeah, that was quick. That people drop the 100% records, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, these are your fixtures. I will try to arrange something. Yes, it'll probably involve five if you can, but we'll see. But yeah, are you bottom of the league? Presumably so. With your 1 to 7 goal thing. So anyway, I'll try and arrange something for you as soon as possible. I'll get the packs out, etc., etc. But we'll see what happens. As mentioned, next week I'm unavailable, but I'll see if we can get some co-hosting done. But you will know as soon as possible. Thank you for your attention this evening. I'm going to drink something cold because it's 100 degrees. Enjoy the rest of your night. Bye bye.